There you go. They should be able to hear us now. It helps when you turn your audio on. Okay, let's restart and recap. Sorry. This is our session
We'll do it
1.
live.
We'll do it live now. Welcome to the usual Red Scar Publishing Technological Gremlins.
I mean, this is progress. At least it was something we knew was wrong.
We have some progress, yeah. Something we knew was wrong. We had some delays due to some OBS issues. But here we are for session 1 of Dead Man's Rust, a campaign for Scarred Lands set in Onyx Path, Scarred Lands, as already mentioned. We're really looking forward to bringing this campaign to you. I'm a huge fan of the Scarred Land settings, have been for a while. Just hand over to the rest of the group, which we're terming kind of Red Scar and Friends, as you didn't hear when we were talking about it previously. I'll hand over to Alex first.
Hello again. I'm going to make noises with my mouth hole, and hopefully noise is going to come out. And fantastic. So that's caught up. So I'm Alex. I'm a developer over at Red Scar, rules primarily, as well as social media and basically anything that I can get my hands on. You can follow me on Twitter at @LibertyOtter, where I talk about game design and also just point at really pretty games that I really want to play one day, which I know that I'll just end up running, which is fine. And I am playing Nevan, the Hollow Legionnaire Paladin from the Golden Spire, sent out into the cruel world to follow up on reports of Hollow Legionnaires making their life in the local area, with my over-enthusiastic accomplice that we'll meet momentarily. Hollow Legionnaires, for people that don't know, are we're a breed of soldier from souls of particular types of individuals that worship a specific deity, being brought back and forged into suits of armor to fight again. The war's over, but we keep coming back. And rather than necessarily having much of a backstory, I have memories of a past life that may or may not come into focus, but my path is in theory my own to forge ahead. And that's Nevan. It's going to be fine. I'm baked in blue, just to keep myself in the zone.
Handing over to Liz now.
Hey everyone, my name's Liz. I am the owner of Angry Hamster Publishing, which also publishes roleplay games. Our most recent game, Afterlife Wandering Souls, won an Indie Groundmaker Award last year for Best Setting, which I am super proud of. I also generally just freelance a lot in the industry, including working for the awesome people at Red Scar. I worked on the Hellboy RPG.
You wrote an awesome adventure for us.
And I am playing Viven, known as Viv to her friends, but I don't have any living friends yet, therefore no one has called me Viv. But in Viv's own headcanon, everyone calls her Viv. She is an Ashati monk, and Ashati are like snake people, who was actually found as an egg by the Hollow Legionnaires in the Spire, and they raised her, so she has a very unique outlook on the world. And of course she's taken this mission with Nevan so she can go and visit this bright new world and see what it has to offer.
And next is Paco.
Hello, I am Paco. I am the founder and owner of GMS Magazine, and you can find me on Twitter at GMS Magazine as well, where me and my husband record way too many videos about role-playing games and board games, and I do a little bit of cartography, which I did a little bit for Red Scar and the Hellboy game, which was very exciting indeed. And I also have Mindscape Publishing, where I publish Campo de Mitas, which is a Cthulhian kind of very interesting book that you should take a look. Anyway, I am going to be playing Pacandra, which is a manticore, and a manticore is kind of a cat folk, which is very curious indeed. They really are interested in absolutely finding everything, but decided that I need to take a look at the world, because after my parents established themselves near the Haggard Hills, they decided that I am a bit too, chaotic for my own good, and they want me to marry somebody, and I don't want to marry anybody just yet. I haven't seen enough of the world, so I am looking forward to seeing what adventures I can get myself into and hopefully not get killed in the process.
Well, hopefully none of you get killed in the process. If you do and Vivian survives, then hopefully she can carry on your tale.
Okay.
Hand it over to Terry.
Oh, hi, yeah, I'm Terry, freelance artist and game arts teacher. Also, I've worked previously on the Hellboy game, which is fantastic and really ought to get it. So that makes 3 now, 4 even. I'm playing Dovith, who's a Drendali bard. The Drendali, if you don't know the system, they are sort of the dark elf of the party. Now, I'm going to leave my background a bit of a mystery because he's left under a bit of a cloud, and for reasons he doesn't really want to divulge too much into. We'll probably find out a bit more as we go into the story. Suffice to say, it wasn't his fault. He has big ideas. There was a production going on. He wanted fireworks. How was he supposed to expect a wooden theatre not to burn down? Anyway, I'm on the run. And that's where we'll leave it there.
Okay, so previously we did hold a session 0 last week. That is available over on our YouTube channel. You can look us up at Red Scar Publishing. You should be able to see some of the kind of small highlights from us creating characters and discussing different matters which may crop up in games. So if there are issues that we're not comfortable with, we've agreed that we'll raise a hand and move on or take a break. If everybody's familiar with that discussion last week. And we also kind of prescribed that you'd all arrived in Leone from your various previous steps. So Dovith, you'd kind of fled here, well aware that there was a festival about to happen called the Night of Chronicles, which is a kind of famous gathering of bards from all across Scalespad and beyond, really. And it's grown year on year as the Manticore Confederacy has kind of taken footsteps itself into moving away from its Vangal heritage. The Manticore have kind of slowly distanced themselves from the Reaver, who abandoned them anyway, and they're making more and more strides in becoming civilized. So you've kind of headed here yourself to see what this Night of Chronicles is all about. See if you can escape anybody that might be following in your footsteps, and perhaps make a bit of coin from telling a tale or two. Nevan and Vivian, you've previously met each other over at the Spires, so you've made your way here from the Gleaming Valley, and you've heard rumours and whispers, and you've been sent out to investigate some kind of news that the Hodl Legionnaires in particular are having a bit of a rough time of it out and amongst the wild at the moment. Rumours come back that perhaps 1 or 2 Hodl Legionnaires are disappearing, and word's not been heard for a while from a few of them. So you've been sent towards Leone to see if any of the tales have made their way to the Night of Chronicles, see if there's any news of that, and just to see what can be heard in general. And Pakandra. If you're happy with this, we could say you're from one of the tribes that live out in amongst the perforated plains, the bleak savannah. So Leone itself isn't fully populated throughout the year. It's a city in its own right, and it has a kind of population year round, but that ebbs and flows depending on which festivals are taking place. The Manticore themselves are still slightly nomadic, so towns and villages can move, and not many of them have kind of reconciled themselves yet with living in one place, and if they ever will do. They're very much free spirits, and Leone can kind of be considered maybe one of the places where they undertake some diplomacy with the other species that inhabit Galespad. And they have a kind of living population that live and look after the place. But it still looks like a fairly nomadic city itself. It's mud walls, skin tents, that kind of thing, which can vary in size. Like I say, depending on which festival is apparent or what time of the year it is. And that's you've made your way here, hopefully to maybe seek your fame and fortune. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Oh, I'm just here to have some adventures. I just wanted to get away from my parents, so I don't particularly care. I mean, shiny things are good. Shiny things are very, very good. But you know, I am very interested in finding out more about the hollow ones, because I mean, what's up with them? I mean, you've already lived, and now you died, but why coming back and to an armor? Come on, you could be, you know, tied to something cool, like, I don't know, a bow or something like that. But no, an armor. So I'm very curious. I just want to find out what's with them.
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity for you. You've kind of arrived on the first night. It's bustling. There are fire pits set up. Tribesfolk have arrived from all over the plains and the savannas. You know, all species have arrived. Dwarves, you see some Chardini dwarves that maybe get a bit of a strange look, but they're welcomed. One or two Drandali, which Dovith, you recognise maybe the odd face, but they possibly don't recognise you. You know they've not been in Dear Drendal itself for a while. So likely, hopefully, news hasn't made its way to them yet. And Vivian and Nevin, this is probably a completely new experience for you all. You know, away from the Gleaming Valley, it's bustling with people that seem to want to talk to everybody. Or if they aren't talking to each other, they're sat around a fire pit listening to a tall tale, or you know, a particular storyteller. So really,
the efficiency of this camp angers me.
Yeah, it's sprawling, it's haphazard. There are some. Let me pull up the map. There are some kind of there is some kind of internal structure to the place.
I think immediately I'm overwhelmed by the amount of people who are around us.
Yeah, it's a very far cry from your usual kind of austere surroundings in one of the spires, where you're sometimes left your own devices and sometimes asked to come and interpret. Maybe.
I think I at one point,
because
like,
there are more people. Just because there are more people doesn't mean we have to speak to all of them again.
if we don't speak to other people, how are we going to learn?
Speaking to the right people.
Who are the right people?
I do not know yet.
Let's go stand over by that group. Maybe they'll talk to us. I walk over to like the nearest campfire, and I just awkwardly stand there like a little bit outside of the group with a somewhat smile on my face, but I have a very like serpentine face, so it's just like.
Yeah, that's cool. Nobody really seems, they're so enraptured by the story that's taking place, nobody really seems to notice your approach. You're not quite sure from out the corner of your eye. Perhaps you see a almost ethereal wisp disappear on the corner of your vision, almost as if you know that perhaps some of the spirits that you used to, not necessarily every spirit that you see, but almost if some spirits may be gathering to soak up some of the atmosphere as well. But yeah, you actually walked upon a campfire, and you can see there's a wood dwarf stood on a semicircular wooden bench on the far side of the campfire. He's got quite a good crowd. You can see the audience are quite enraptured in his in the story that he's telling. He's actually telling a story of a sorcerer and a blade beast, and you know from some of your own studies that blade beasts are particularly dangerous titan spawn that can absorb weapons. So they're kind of morphic creatures that can absorb weapons and then use those weapons against you as they combat you. the tales of the sorcerer who lost a particular item to this blade beast, and he seems intent on tracking it down. He's got the audience enraptured, so I mean, you're kind of free to hang around the outside. You just going to carry on listening, or
You said I saw a wisp out of the corner of my eye, right?
yeah.
Well, obviously I don't really understand how to interact with these people, because if I was just standing next to them, they would probably talk to me at one point. So I'm just gonna go follow the thing that is possibly spiritual or dead, because maybe that'll talk to me.
Yeah, you walk off to one side, and you can see what looks to be a teenage manticora in a kind of wispy outline. And it notices you looking at it, seems a bit shocked, and then just gives you a slight nod and turns back to the tale almost. Seems quite content to listen to the tale that's happening.
I go and I stand next to it.
Yeah. It takes a kind of a slight step to give itself some personal space again. It seems a bit unsettled that one of the livings recognised it. Used to moving around quite invisibly, apparently, but yeah, it seems slightly uncomfortable.
I also seem slightly uncomfortable. I'm just I turn and I kind of smile at it, like.
Okay, obviously, Nevin, you can see Vivian's strolled off around the campfire, and apparently seems to be either smiling at the fire itself or something maybe on the other side. You're not quite sure. It's not the first time you've obviously seen Vivian staring.
I'd be more worried if she wasn't.
Yeah. But you've got the same experience. You know, it's a nice glowing fire. It's kind of dusk heading into evening. The tales actually, the wood dwarf is a rather good storyteller. He has, like I say, he has the group enraptured with this tale that he's slowly wrapping up towards whichever climax is apparent with the blade beast itself.
Okay. I'll wait for him to finish his story, but my head is very much on a swivel, trying to look at kind of the town, because if the majority of people are here,
Yeah.
just keeping my head in a swivel for movement in doorways, just out of habit more than anything else.
Yeah.
I probably also stood bolt upright because Nevan will always stand bolt upright just out of habit. Probably still with the giant pack slung on one shoulder.
You can give me a wisdom perception check. Let me
Wisdom perception.
so hopefully-
16.
There you go. People can see that on the screen there, hopefully.
We are using Foundry, and we are very grateful to Foundry for being awesome and generally cool.
Yeah, so that's the Foundry virtual tabletop logo I've included under the dice roller there. You can see Nevin's dice roll of 16 for a perception check. Yeah, you kind of soak in the atmosphere. Nothing seems out of the ordinary to you. Nothing kind of, I was going to say set your hairs on edge, but that wouldn't quite be right because you don't have any hair, do you? Nothing kind of disturbs your spiritual essence or unsettles you as much as you unsettle other people occasionally.
Yep.
Go on.
I'll just stand at the back of the group.
Yep.
Being aware from our time on the travel that if I'm in people's vision, I usually become the centre of their attention, which would be rude. So I'm just stood on the outside, mildly awkwardly, waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, that's
also in theory within dive range for when the young foundling says something.
Almost on cue, I just turn, like, I keep looking at the person and say, I grew up around dead people.
to the spirit.
Yeah.
Internally, there's just like a teeth grind of just.
Its head kind of slowly rotates to you, and its features are like, are you talking to me?
Yeah. I am totally used to these situations, and I just want you to know that I grew up around dead people, so like, it's cool that you're dead. I'm living. Cool party, huh?
Well, it's really the only enjoyment I get out of. I mean, this isn't life anymore, but it's one of the few times I get to maybe relive some of the highlights of my former life. You know, enjoy being around the living for a change. I mean, it's awesome that you can talk to me.
Wait, you're not normally around the living?
No, I usually it's too much of a reminder of what I could be living myself, because because the life we left behind under our old god. It's just generally too much of a reminder. But this is one of the nights I can find out about different tales of different people, and hopefully sometimes enjoy the life that I could have led.
Oh. Well, you should just get a suit of armor so that you can, like, join in with the living again.
What do you mean?
Well, you see my friend over there? And I just, like, point.
Yeah. So, Nevin, you can see Vivian's pointing towards you and apparently talking to nobody.
I just think back to all the hours I spent back at the Spire training. Just who did I annoy? Where did it go wrong?
He
Yeah.
has a suit of armor that he's fused to, and now he can just walk around and talk with everybody, and you could try doing that. Like, if you're not just enjoying your suffering. I don't know.
How does that happen?
I go into. I think I've read a little bit about this. Mark, can you help me?
Yeah. So there's
for a moment.
There's a kind of huge true ritual that the Hollow Knights perform on spirits that they know particularly want to finish a great service or some deed that they wanted to perform in life that they unfortunately didn't get to continue. So it's almost as much as the Hollow Knights making a choice of it, and the Legionnaires presenting themselves to want to do that. It's certainly around the possibility of sending a spirit to turn up and knock on their door and say, hey, I've got something I'd like to finish. Or
I got your pamphlet. I heard that you're recruiting.
Yeah, almost, yeah. It's not a given, and it obviously depends on both sides of the story. But
so obviously, I say this in a very overly complicated, flowery way, and like including all of these bits of research and footnotes that I've researched and looked into, and I basically end with, so yeah, what's the great work that you want to finish?
Well, I mean, for me, it would be bringing the Manticora even more into the nations of Gelspan, really.
No, that sounds long, obscure, and important. That would fit the Legion perfectly.
Oh, so I just head to the Gleaming Valley?
1 second. Let me just come with me.
Yeah, sure. The story's still going on, by the way, as well. So you kind of that's faded into the background now. I'll just jump to Pacandra and Dovith, and then we'll come back to this. So Pacandra and Dovith, you've come upon the same. You kind of gravitated towards this place. You've seen it's become the centre of Leone for this particular period. The campfire's surrounded by all sorts of species from across Gelspan. Both give me perception checks.
I think I hit it twice.
Oh, so did I.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is mine.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry. Terry, you go ahead first.
Which one did I get there? I mean, it's either a 9 or a 22. It's up to you, Mark. We'll go with the first one, which was a 9.
Okay, so I don't think either of you rolled particularly well then.
Well, if
Well,
you go for the
okay,
first one, then
okay, let's just settle this.
22.
Both make one more roll each.
yeah.
Just click it once
Yeah.
this time. 16. There we
16,
go.
awesome.
So that's 19 total for me.
And 12.
And 12. Yeah, that's cool. It's it's good enough to absorb the atmosphere. You get again, though if this is your kind of trade, telling tales, singing songs, and enthralling an audience, you can see he's doing a very good job of it.
Might I mean, is it like a kind of a theatre con? It's like Comic Con, but theatre.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So
If that is the case, then there'll be stalls and merch.
there are certainly stores, merch.
There's about 3 particular things that I'm looking for, which I have a fantastic idea for.
Okay.
It's not con. Con's not the right word to use.
Yeah.
But a performance, an entertainment that might have an unexpected kind of outcome. I am looking for, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it'd be fantastic if I could. One is a pack of tarot cards.
Yeah.
The other being a crystal or small crystal ball, just a small one, and a long pipe.
Long pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite late in the day, and there are still a few stores open. You can probably spend the better part of the evening looking for objects, particularly while the telltelling's happening, because most stall owners would have probably wrapped up for the night to go and listen to the better audiences.
I mean, is this something I could picked up prior then?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How much will that set you back?
It depends what quality you'd like, really.
Well, but it doesn't have to be top quality. It's just the theatrical purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I say gold, that.
Yeah, sure.
So if that's already done and dusted,
Yeah.
what I will do is I will also listen to the plays and make notes of different bits and pieces that I might be able to use in my own. And I'll write them down in my little book. Any ideas that kind of come to mind and kind of seem to be interesting. I don't quite feel like performing today, so I'm going to just listen to what's going on.
Yeah.
Enjoy the evening, I think.
Certainly. I can see that our video is just messed up as much as it did earlier. So let me just slightly adjust this. Yeah. So I mean, let's just call it a couple of gold if you're looking for kind of standard items.
Let me just add that to the list.
So rather embarrassing, this is all messed up slightly. I'm just going to adjust this video for everybody so we're all in the correct places. Good old technology gremlins.
That map should be sorted. Mark, let me know when you want the players on it.
Yeah, thanks Alex. Okay, so what I'll do for the moment then is just swap to the map. So this should pick up the map for you guys on the stream, and we'll leave it on the map until we take a break and I can get things adjusted.
So at the moment, are we in the main square? Mark?
Yeah, it's not showing on my screen though for some reason.
Try F5ing. Is it showing for everyone else? or is it just black?
Here we go.
Okay,
It's,
so
it's
it's
showing now.
black.
That's why I've got on still 2 seconds. Okay, refresh. It should give you the entire map.
To me, saying that I don't own any token for.
So you should be able to see.
Yeah, if you hit refresh, that should fix that.
Just did. Let's try again. Okay, now it's good. Thank you.
Because the defaults
There we
to
go.
be map exploration, it's a lot of click boxes to turn it all off.
Fair enough.
So many options. What problem?
Okay, so that's us on the Foundry Virtual Tabletop now. You can see a map of Leone. Most of the events are taking around they're taking place in and around outside of town. Let me just adjust the crop of this slightly. So you can see the dice roller a bit better on the right. Not too much. And like I say, when I come back from break, I'll get the visuals for ourselves sorted again. So this is the town map of Leone, like I say, where which is the capital of the Manticore Confederacy. There are a lot of mud buildings and tents. We'll put you to jump round about where Liz is, I think, if you can see on the map, or she just moved herself back out again. Then sorry. And I should mention actually that this map I've taken directly from the Vigil Watch Chapter 3 Scarred Lands supplement, which is available on drive-through, which gives you kind of an insight into the inner and outer workings of Leone, both in terms of the Manticore and its relative position to Gelspad. If I just flick briefly to the Gelspad map, you can.
Go click activate if you want to drag everyone over.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm just going to show people really that
Oh yeah, sure.
Leone itself is kind of at the southwesterly end of this lake here, Lake Clarity. So it's kind of in between the perforated plains there, heading up towards the bleak savannah, just north of the Ganges. Okay.
You say the geology is like savanna, kind of.
Yeah, you're kind of wedged in between the perforated plains and the bleak savannah, which are both kind of tundra plains like settings, which are perfect for the Manticore. Is there anything you want us to do as you approach the fire there, Terry? Doveth?
No, just trying to take in the atmosphere, see who's interesting and kind of what's kind of going on. I'm just trying to absorb as much as possible.
Yeah, like I say, you can tell this wood dwarf is a grand storyteller. He's enraptured the audience. It's just easy to get absorbed in the story, really. And with that perception check, you don't feel on edge, but you notice a Hollow Legionnaire hovering at the very back of the group. And as you've approached, heading towards the Hollow Legionnaire, seemingly enraptured in conversation, although you can't tell who with, is an Asathi. But yeah, that's the kind of two standout things. And Picandra, you've approached the same campfire. Really, is this, like I say, there's a great story being told. Plenty of Manticore have come in for this festival. Not too many from your tribe, thankfully. You've not noticed anything out of the ordinary around the campfire itself. Just a few different species of other people you can around. Sorry, going back on it.
I try to stay away from another Manticora. You know, I don't want any rumors spreading throughout the tribes that could lead to my parents, just in case they think that somebody spreading those rumors could be somebody suitable for me to marry. So I try to, you know, to much as I'm enjoying the story, because it's like, wow, this is good. No, I step back a little bit and just, you know, get a little bit, yeah, Manticora over there, Pacandra the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to dodge Manticora here. You see lots of young Manticora like yourself. Perhaps for the same reason yourself, some of them, you know, they're trying to get away from that parental kind of, let's call it guidance, I guess, over your upbringing and what they perceive as your well-being. There are also lots of older Manticora who seem to be maybe sometimes posturing with each other. You know, there's a lot of vying for position here. Who has the best seat at the fire? That kind of thing. You know yourself that the leader of this place is called the High Pride Mother Velashul. She's a rather stern, authoritarian, traditional Manticora, although she has done quite well at creating alliances with some of the other species and fostering trade. And like I say, you notice, in particular, a Hollow Legionnaire stood at the back of the campfire. Who's probably one of the first examples of this species you've seen.
I just leap towards him, you know, in a very, I just leap towards him, and I just stand and look at him and, hi.
Alex.
Greetings.
Hi. You. So, hello. Are you for real?
I prefer to think so.
Hey lady, I was here first. And another young female Manticora kind of tries to shoulder barge you, Pacandra.
Excuse me. Firstly, do not call me lady. Huh? Secondly, this is my friend. Don't talk to him without talking to me first, because he doesn't know what he's doing here, okay? And I am here to actually help him.
No. I'm an esteemed barge of the college here. I was coming to get some information, and you've just trod on my paws.
Oh, what a pity. What information do you want, darling?
Well, for a start, I'd like to know what kind of species he is.
He's a hollow one. You don't know what you're talking about. He's a hollow one. He is one of the most fascinating creatures ever, and I was about to ask him things. So why don't you sit back with the rest of the children and listen and learn something? Thank you.
Oh, okay. She kind of, tail between her legs, she takes a few steps back.
As the most interesting things in the world suddenly piqued my interest. What's going on? I mean, I turn curtain twitching to a new level. So as soon as I hear Ray's voices, I'm like,
I just look at you know, I am so sorry. I know my species can be quite intrusive. I apologize about that. I promise I am not at all the same. So where were we? Yes, so you are for real. How do you happen? See, not intrusive at all.
nosy Titan spawn ask many questions and we appear.
Uh-huh. So how did it happen? I need to know.
When I was alive, I was so seasick I turned blue and never came back.
No way.
It's at this point you arrive, Liz.
The van just starts going through the pre-prepared, like, and just like there are pages of them.
Oh my God! Well, let me tell you, I think you are. I think the word is fascinating. So I would like to be your friend. Please.
When did you become fascinating?
Well, the moment that Oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh my God, you are one of those Nate people. Oh my God. Oh, oh my God, this is the best day ever. Oh, you're
Riven, I
so...
take it back. You're not the only one.
You are so cool. I'm sorry. I don't mean like in cold-blooded. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive. Okay, this is not what I meant. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. You can tell this is like Christmas like 20 times at the same time for this poor little kitty.
I kind of stand there awkwardly, and I don't really know how to react. But obviously this is how young women act, so better just act like her. So, oh my God, it's okay. I am cool.
Yay! Do you know each other?
Yes, oh my God. This is my friend. He's also so cool and unique, and there's no one like him. But there are, but it's okay. Let's not get into technicalities. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So Dover, first this is happening, you can hear Pacandra getting rather excitable, a rather stern Hollow Legionnaire trying to rebuff, and
Also, when he was coming out with the I was just so seasick I turned blue. It's all deadpan, no inflection.
But you can also kind of watching the crowd and watching this kind of growing conversation with the excitable Manticora. And the Woodwolf's kind of winding up his story, but he seems a little bit perturbed now because he's gone low key and the story's winding down. He's bringing himself to the end of the tale. Some of the crowd seem to be more interested now in the kind of excitable Manticora and the argument that's already taken place, and so a lot of some of the attention has been taken away from him. And you see his big brows are furrowed. He's peering over the crowd, so that's taking even more of attention away from his story, and that he's kind of lost his cadence slightly, lost his entrancement of the crowd.
If that's the case, I will slowly walk up to the gathering there and say, I'm sure you don't mean to be the center of attention, right? But you are. Might I suggest we all go to a domiciliary and partake in a drink, and you can continue your conversation with a little less audience, let's say. I'll buy the first round, if that helps.
And that's kind of like where the world comes crashing for you all. You kind of, notice, most of the crowd has, or not most of, but half of the crowd seems turned in your direction. Kind of like, what's this commotion that's been going on behind us? Well, this great storyteller's been telling his tale.
Oh, and just to describe myself,
Yeah, go on.
he's got a wide-brimmed hat on, very large black wide-brimmed hat with a black feather. He's got a black frock coat on and a frilly black shirt. The only thing that actually stands out, he's got a pin or a brooch, which is silver, and it's in the shape of a quill pen. Other than that, it's all dark, including the visage.
Yeah, the moment that I see that there's like a crowd around us, I kind of like shirk and then try to blend into the crowd, kind of just like backing away, like, oh no, oh god, no.
Yeah. Rather
I'm gonna
uncomfortable
get
on
told
this
by a phalanx doesn't work this way again. Not again. No.
My taste is just to follow me. And what I'll do is, if they're agreeable, I'll take them to a beer tent or such place. Acoustic bar. Right?
I follow the man in the
There'll be
fancy
plenty
hat.
of loot there.
Yeah, there are one or two mead halls around. The kind of are you heading for a permanent structure in town? Or are you heading for one of the mead tents
No,
that's
I
been
think
set
it's
up?
much nicer to do it Glastonbury style and
Yeah.
go to a tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take them to a marquee style tent, where again, there are preponderance of manticora, but there are other species. You see dwarves and elves, the odd halfling. There's you can head to the bar, which is some sort of table of affairs, and set up some casks behind it. There are some manticora there offering some of the local wares in terms of drinks. The trestle tables to take a place at, or you can sit outside if you prefer. It looks like it's going to be a rather glorious night as dusk closes in, or twilight closes in.
Well, let's say I'll offer to buy my new friends whatever they're drinking. And then they can continue the conversation with kind of less of an audience.
Yeah, if you can all give me a perception check as well. DC 10.
Looks like we've all done it.
Yeah. So you instantly all notice as well that the other young manticora is following you, the one who had tried to barge in yourself, Bakandra. She's trailing along, hands behind her back, still looking rather down, browbeaten, but she's trailing along, good 5-10 feet behind.
Is she much younger than me?
She's in her late teens, so that's around about the same age as yourself.
I look at her and she looks.
I'm sorry about my rudeness earlier. I don't mean any challenge to yourself.
Why are you following my friends?
Oh, they're your friends now, are they?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping if you are friends and you are together, I'm hoping to ask a favour, really. But can we hopefully discuss this at the table, away from eyes?
You are starting to feel very creepy. Let me ask my friends.
I can explain myself. I'm sorry.
I hope you can, because otherwise this meeting is going to come to a very abrupt end.
Okay, look.
Stay here. Sit. So I cannot. I am so sorry to the three of you, dear friends. But I have a member of my species. I don't know her name. I don't want to know. I don't know her at all. But she seems to be very interested in talking to us. Would you mind, please, for me, would you please mind if she joins just for a few minutes? It's not going to take long. So she can tell us what she wants to tell us, and then she just can go away and, I don't know, climb a tree or something, whatever they do. Please?
I turn to my dead friend and I say, is this normal girl behavior?
Well, we can get rather excitable, yeah. Usually under our old ways, that used to get channeled into violence, basically. But yeah, it's nice to see it expressed in different ways.
Oh, okay. I turn back to the group. Yes.
Okay, so I go back to the Manticore. Okay, listen, you can come. It's only gonna be a few minutes. And do not use swear words. There is an elf, and you know what they're like. So no rudeness. Please don't let me in a bad place. I'm vouching for you. This is important. Don't mess it up for me, okay? This is my gig.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Just I think David was more upset with the use of the word elf than swear words. But he's not going to let it show in his face. You know, it's dead bad.
So the young manticore walks up with yourself, and she kind of, she's kicking the dirt with her feet, and starts to mutter into the ground, and then as she speaks, she gets a bit more confident. And all the while she talks. She's rather nervous. She pulls a flute out of her knapsack and starts to toy with it, and that seems to bring her more confidence. She says, "I'm sorry for any confusion or any upset. I just as my sister here, I was rather excited to see other species such as yourselves, and really, I'm just excited to be on the Night of Chronicles as well. I've just left the Bardic College here, and I'm hoping to tell my first tale. So, being in such esteemed company here, especially the great wood dwarf Dradoki Bronzeleaf, and listen to his tales, I'm hoping to tell a tale myself that could impress someone such as him. So I was gonna ask yourselves really if you have something that you could give me, or something that we could be part of, or join in the telling of, to create this wonderful epic tale that would steal the show really.
Sure, I'll just cut off a piece of my soul and hand it over to you. That's no problem at all.
You'd do that?
No, of course not.
Oh.
Don't be foolish. You cannot ask an entertainer who works his craft just to give away. Would you ask a comedian to give away a joke?
I'm willing to pay. I can't pay much, but I'm willing to pay.
It's not the price. You cannot sell your soul like that. You have a lot to learn. My suggestion to you will be going back to the Bard College and do an extension class, my dear, because I do not think you're ready for this thing.
But I've passed all the tests. They've sent me out into the world to ply my trade now, essentially, and this would be my first chance to do that. Surely there's something one of you can pass on to me, or
you need to live your own story so then you can recount it. This is the best advice I can give. There's no point giving you one of my stories because they are my stories, and they can only be told by me in the way of my telling. And this is what you must do as well: is create your own stories. And
so as you're talking to her, Dovev, she's looking pleadingly from Vivin to Nevin.
I'm sorry. There's nothing interesting about us. Like, he's just a reincarnated soul in a suit of armor, like the rest of the Hollow Legionnaires, who just has the pledge to fulfill some epic destiny before, I don't know, his soul can rest or something. And I was just found by them and see dead people, so I don't really think you have a story there.
Oh.
Sorry, we can't be of more help. I can share my drink with you if you want.
That's not the piece of skin in the pickle.
No, that's what I have hanging off my belt in a super non-awkward way.
She gives one final last pleading look in Nevin's direction.
So what, she wants to be part of a story, or have a story that she can go and...
She's asking for an epic tale that she can take away to tell at the campfires herself, to hopefully impress somebody as esteemed as Dradoki, who is apparently the wood dwarf that you were watching just now.
Okay. 17. I call upon I kind of look them up and down and say, do you write this down or do you remember it?
Oh, we're oral storytellers. Yes, it's I can certainly remember this.
If you say, are you listening?
Yes.
And
She gives-
Navan will recount from his military student's feat. To him, it's one of the most interesting things in the world. To everyone else, it is a report of how 35 Hollow Legionnaire held a bridge during a rampaging outpouring of creatures in one of the canyons, and how by a sustained falling back formation with interlocking shields we were able to wait until the dawn when the creatures melted back away into the darkness. It is annoyingly detailed about some parts, but completely utterly skips over all of the kind of dramatic bits.
Yeah, as you tell it, she puts one nail on her fangs. She's listening and nodding. I can do something with this. Yes, yes. And you're Nevin, you say?
I'm Nevin of the Golden Spire. Tesserus, 3rd Shield, 7th Tent, 2nd Centurion.
And were you there? She points to you,
9th
Vivian.
Cohort, 13th Legion.
And were you there? She points to you, Vivian.
Oh, I'm Vivian of this Golden Spire. I kind of whisper to Nivon, "Do I need to give my whole rank?"
Unless you want to.
You can call me Viv.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Is there anything I can do for yourselves in return? You know, any service I can perform, or?
You know somebody? We're looking for someone, and you're a bard, so you talk to a lot of people. So I've read, right?
Of course.
Have you ever heard of someone called Adamantine Aluge?
Isn't she a Hollowed Legionnaire?
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've never met her. She's an esteemed friend of Leonie.
You know where she hangs out? Oh my god! I try to imitate my new Manticore friend.
So, from what I can remember, she runs an ale house. I'm not quite sure where. I can try and find out for you.
Oh wow, that would be like totally awesome. Like cool. Thanks. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get back to you. I'm going to go and craft this tale from the experience Nevin's given me. I'll get a book in. I'll send you a time, and then hopefully by the time I finish the tale, I'll have that news for you of where Adamantine is.
Cool.
How does that sound? And she blatantly turns to Picandra, and she's kind of like sticking her tongue out at you, and saunters off.
That really isn't going to work. It has
Liz,
no pathos. It
I
has
am so sorry. I am so sorry. I didn't know it was going to turn up like this. I thought she was going to be a slightly less annoying, but you know, some of my people can be a little bit like that. I am so sorry. I promise I will try to this never to happen ever again. So, anyway, now that we are all friends in here, where are you going?
I couldn't hear you, Terry. Did you say something?
All right.
I
Yeah.
can't hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
cut out. Sorry.
At the question of where are you going, the look that Dovith gets is like, your guess is as good as mine.
I look at Nafan. I think we
They're
should tell them
seeking out-
about the mission.
already told one of them of the mission, telling another that will not harm it.
Oh,
What mission? Mission? Or mission?
Perhaps I was mistaken.
no, like, oh my god, come on, let's go, Navon, tell them the story. I put my hands down and decide this isn't a good look for me.
Go on. What would it hurt?
You always talk this much.
Yes.
What girls do. I have it from reliable sources.
I'm not a girl, but never mind. You can call me girl, that's fine. I don't mind. So, what's the mission?
We have been tasked with seeking out other legionnaires that have made their lives in this region. There are reports that some of them have come under recent difficulty.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard anything about that. Mark, have I heard anything about that since I live in the region? About any legionnaires having some sort of difficulty?
Yeah, well, I mean, these guys are specifically looking for legionnaires that have not returned. You've heard of 1 or 2 legionnaires growing sick, and their armor needing to be buried because their spirits withered and died, basically.
Are they buried nearby or something?
You'd have to go and ask further questions, but you've definitely heard a rumour or two of a huddled legionnaire growing sick. Yeah, you'd have to follow that trail a bit more to find out where and who or when it happened.
Well, let me tell you that although I have never been this close to a hollow legionnaire as I am now, by the way, are you solid? I mean, you kind of look like shiny and everything and glimmery and everything. So, and you're undead, but are you? I mean,
I am not undead.
well, but you know, you are. What are you? Never
Next
mind.
question.
Are you solid? I mean, if I take a peanut and throw it to you, will it
Oh,
bounce?
don't do that. He gets really angry.
Sorry, I'm not gonna do it. But I just want to know if I did it, would it bounce back or would it go through you? Well, how?
Yes,
I think you
am
should-
solid.
Okay, thank you. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, sorry about you lot going
When
sick and
someone's
everything.
looking.
Okay, I know that you've sent that scoundrel. That I bet you anything. I can tell you, she ain't going back. She really is not going to come back. She's just going to tell you a story. She's going to make a complete mess of it, and then she's going to say, no, this is mine, but it isn't. But never mind. Anyway, I
You
can
were
go and
telling
ask-
me about legionnaires.
Yeah, sorry, I'm about to say sorry about that. Sorry. I could go and ask somebody and see if I can find out because some of them were a little bit like sick. So if you want me to, I can do that.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, I can do that. Where are you staying? Do you have a place to stay? You have a tent or you have a house?
We will camp outside of town.
I love that. I'll come with you. Excellent. We'll come together. This is so good. I can hand wrap it and everything, so we can roast them on the fire and we can eat and everything. That would be so good. That would be so good.
You're going to make inquiries about other legionnaires, yes?
Yes, I am. Yes. Tomorrow.
I would appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You obviously at this mead tent. Is anybody doing anything else? You can
Oh, my
see.
friend?
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I go to, like, when there's just a lull, I say, so my friend here wants to become a Legionnaire, Nevin. I point.
Yeah. None of you can see anybody at all.
I don't. Like, Nevin doesn't even turn his head. This is not the first time this has happened since we've left the spire. Never mind, never. Just. Right. And why does your friend want to become a Legionnaire? Have they heard the call?
Yes, they have an epic goal of spreading. Wait, what was your goal again?
I'm hoping to help build relations between the Manticore and other species.
To actually build relations between all the Manticora and other species. That's a very large goal, and you know that I'm very well read. And according to subsection B of the 4th tenet of the Legion, this does qualify, theoretically.
Just ask your friend if he knows if any other Manticore have become older Legionnaires.
In my head, Navan just remembers back to when we all stood around a campfire going, well, we've got to tell her something, but we'll write it down and we'll say it's the tenets of the Legion.
Yeah.
And I have a copy, like, in my bag, and, like, I study it to make sure I'm a good Legionnaire, like, every day.
And now Nevin's like, man, that's come to bite me.
Yeah. Still doesn't do the dishes at camp time, but oh no, it's...
Well, I mean, there's other Manticora who have become members of the Legion, right?
Viren, remember, we spoke about this.
I slowly start pulling out my tendon.
Put it away.
As you can see...
Viren, I'm not going to say it twice.
Should the quest be honorable enough, thou shalt...
Jerky's going to stay in my bag.
You can't always use my need to eat against me.
Can't I?
Again, theoretically, yes, but after being with the living for a while, I'm pretty sure this is morally bankrupt. In theory, I'm gonna get a book on it.
I don't recall morals being particularly tasty.
But are you gonna help my friend then? Because...
We'll have a conversation at camp when there are less members of elsewhere around.
Okay, so this is how he is
covenant
normally.
between Kurhan and the Legion is sacred and not to be spoken of lightly, as I keep trying to remind you.
Okay, I think
Sorry.
that's okay. That's cool. I think we'll take a break there. I'm going to fix the video, and we will be back in 10 minutes, people.
Okay.